Hey everyone, this is Gordon again with my Module 4 response post. I hope everyone's had a good weekend. I'm going to start by commenting on a few things on Phyllis's video. Initially, she made a point that everyone should have a clear understanding of what the ADA is and the importance of it to students as they're gaining access into higher education. She talked about the personal experience that she was working at UNCW, hosting high school students that required disability services help, and how her office went about uh, letting these students gain access to disability services so that they could participate in all the activities that the other students who registered could do also. She also stressed the importance of the disabled students. If an individual student needs any type of help from the university in disability services, it's up to them to make the university aware. I mean, they can't do anything for the students unless the student expresses that they need that kind of help. Uh, Another video was Catherine's, and her video centered around transgender oppression, and she talked about some personal experiences that her friends have had that she went to school with, has grown up with, that they went through changes in the different experiences, both good and bad, that these individuals faced. Um, she went into also some problems that transgender students faced at her undergraduate university, where they did not have gender neutral bathrooms, and there was also some controversy over a person that went through a transgender change and how it would affect their living in a dorm, and how others that also lived in those dorms, how they would take that personally, or how they would feel about that. Chris's video centered around ableism, and talked about the judgmental thoughts of people about those who are disabled. Um, he also did a stat that I found very interesting, that worldwide 650 million individuals are disabled individuals, and that also makes it the largest minority of a largest minority population of people in the entire world. So that was an interesting concept to think about. He went on to talk about a personal story of him working at UNCW, where he had two students, one that suffered from depression and one that later was diagnosed with schizophrenia, how they didn't seek professional help, and they actually sought out him as someone to go talk to. And I can imagine that would be a little stressful and a little overwhelming to how to handle that situation, since they didn't seek out disability services or any kind of medical attention. Um, Interesting point that he made was that since they didn't have a visible disability, their families and everything did not think that anything was wrong, and that they were actually struggling internally. So that's something to think about, that disabilities aren't just all physical. Um, let's see. The last one was Krista's, and she talked about the social construction of disability. She talked about a personal experience she had in undergrad about having an ankle sprain, and how the when she was in a wheelchair, she on her campus they did have ramps and different options as a way to accommodate individuals, but these individuals would have to go out of their way to enter buildings or enter from distances that were farther away than normal students would. Um, she also made an action plan as to how this can change in the future for different schools, and it was to facilitate regular discussions about the ease of access for disabled individuals, and maybe to reach out to students who are willing to serve on a board and create a board for the university that continues to evaluate the constructs hindering access to individuals that are disabled. And these educators can also incorporate these into evaluations to be proactive, and continuously to be proactive about having access or an environment on campus that is accessible to all students regardless of disability. And she made a point where all would start from, and I agree, is that students are the main focus, and that students are the voice that would get this movement started. All right, enjoyed reading your posts, and I hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you.